Hey everybody, this is Volen in pursuit of art. I have some pretty big news for today's video. Big news, at least for me. This is something that I've been really seriously considering for the last 5 or 6 months, and it's been something that's been on my mind really for years, but it only became feasible, or I actually started seeing it as a real option only over the last few months. And it's really not been an easy decision to make. It comes with a lot of things that are really attached to it. So, what I'm talking about is that I've decided to quit my job so that I could work more on my art. Now, I didn't just wake up one day and decided that, hey, you know what, art's gonna be probably fun and I'm probably gonna be really good at it, I'm gonna do it. It's really not how it happened. So if this is your first video, then I started about 4 years ago. In 2013, I decided that I'm gonna teach myself what I called it then. I'm gonna teach myself to draw. Like that's as far as I could take it. I had no idea about there being an industry, even it being a job, apart from just, the traditional typical views of like, hey, there's that weird guy with like paintbrushes and he's just doing weird stuff over there and he's in front of our house. Can you just go get rid of him? Apart from just some generic idea of what an artist might be like, I had no idea what this was about. So, no friends. I didn't know anyone that did this type of stuff. I'd never been around people that did it. But I was really so bad at it that I thought to myself, hey, you know what? If I can do this, then in a way, this kind of would prove to my brain that there's just nothing impossible because I'm completely horrible at it. I have zero talent, zero indication that I should even be considering this as an option. And to an outsider looking at what I do and what I've done before, they would have no idea that I would pick art. Anyway, though, that's what I decided to do. 4 years later, just waking up, working on my art, going to my job, then coming back here, working again, going to bed. Pretty much no variation for the majority of the 4 years. This has happened almost every single day until then. And it got to the point where I really felt like I have to make a decision. I have to decide, am I really going to do this thing? Am I actually going to place my bet? Am I going to put down my hand and just say, this is what I bet on? Or am I just going to take, how long am I going to take? How long is this going to go on for? Am I going to improve forever and just kind of be going through, let's say, different jobs and just be doing different things, but also be working on art on the side? Or am I going to not necessarily perfectly prepared, just go into this thing and just see what happens? And this has been very uncomfortable on multiple levels. One, again, if you haven't seen too many other videos, then I live in a country I wasn't born in. So that means no family around here, no safety net, no friends, nothing to rely on. If you fail, you pretty much really fail. Like you're done. You either go back or you're homeless. So I've always played everything very cautiously, which is why it's taken me so long to really do anything, because I've always been very cautious, very much thinking of all the other things that are the surrounding elements of paying bills, paying rent, and not really having much of a budget for almost anything, which is why I'm self-taught. Hey, it's not the smartest way to go about things. It's definitely, I don't recommend, if you have money that you can put into your problem to make it go away at least faster, do that. That's much smarter than having to go around and just figure everything out from scratch. That's not the smart way to do it. That's the way I had to do it though. And I'm not hoping, by the way, for, some magical resolution that just because I decided I'm gonna go one route, that it's necessarily gonna translate into, things are gonna align in a good way now, and this is probably gonna happen, and and then this should probably happen, and you can focus more on that. There's a very realistic chance with everything. There's always the possibility to fail. It's just always there. If I work hard, but if I'm not strategic, I'm going to fail. If I am strategic, but I don't work hard, I'm still going to fail. There's many things that go into getting something done. Like not just art related, but just doing anything. It's a multifaceted process. It's not just one thing. it's not. So just because I've decided to do this thing so I can spend more time on my work, I might be working on the wrong thing for more time now. So I might still not be able to pull it off. But the one thing that I'm taking away by doing this is that I'm taking away any possible excuse. You know, it's almost like another experiment. Like when I started and I said, you know what, if I can do this, then really there's probably nothing that's impossible, because this is the most remote thing that I should ever try, because I don't understand anything about it. I'm not good at it, and I don't know if I can learn. So if I can learn it, then there's pretty much nothing that can't be done. So this is just another experiment. I'm basically giving myself the opportunity to just work on one thing and see what I can do. And really, if it doesn't work out, there's no excuses apart from I either didn't work hard enough, or I didn't think long enough about what it is that I'm doing. I didn't know enough. I wasn't strategic enough. I didn't do the right things. Or there's nothing, there's no other factor that determines whether I'll make it or not. Now, luck is a factor. Obviously, luck does play a role. But what I mean by that is I don't have the luxury or the ability to say, well, you know what, I will have done this, but, you know, I'm in a foreign country. I don't really have any, I have to work. Like, I just have to do that. And, you know, I'm working on my art, but, you know, I have all these other things I have to, it's difficult, right? It's hard. So I have to focus on all these things. And, you know, who could blame me that I'm not really a great artist? And, you know, I haven't done this since I was a kid, and I started really late. I started at 25, and I did stuff that a 2.5-month-old could do. And, you know, who could blame me? But if I actually quit my job to do this, so basically I bet on, hey, let's just see if you can pull it off. Like, here's your thing that you've been asking for. Here's like all your excuses taken and just thrown away. You know, those don't exist anymore. Here you go. There's time. Here you go. There's the luxury of some security for a little while. See what you can do. Like, let's see if that talk actually is, let's see if that's, are you just talking, or are you actually in this thing as much as you make it seem like you're in this thing? That's basically it. I'm trying to eliminate excuses. I'm trying to eliminate possibilities of pointing fingers and saying it's this thing that I didn't make it because of, or it was that person that I had to sacrifice for, so I couldn't really do this other stuff that I wanted to do. It's none of that. It's, the bet is, the hand is down. You know, the cards are down. The bet is placed. So we'll see what happens. And it's just another experiment. If I fail, you know what? I was happy being at my job. I was good at it. People there were awesome to me. They allowed me the freedom to do all the things that I've been doing for those 7 years, 4 of which have been the art years, basically. So you know what? If I fail at this art thing, I'll either go back to work, I'll go do something else, whatever the circumstances are. But at least I've tried it. And I've tried it without the ability to have an excuse at the end. And if it doesn't work, it's on me, bro. Maybe I just talk too much. Maybe I just don't do enough. Maybe I'm not as hardworking as I think I am. Maybe I'm not as disciplined as I try and convince myself I am. And I'm really not all those things. That's why I keep referring to them, because I know how important they are. I also know how difficult they are. And I also know that I fail almost every time. And my only goal is to improve every day. That's it. So quitting my job, maybe let's talk a little bit about the logistics of that whole thing, in case you're in the same type of scenario. I'm not just quitting my job and I have nothing. In those 7 years that I've been working, I've barely spent any money on anything. The only luxury I have is a gym membership, and that's kind of recent. I used to just train in parks before and run and do stuff like that. So my monthly budget, like what I need to survive for a month, is just shockingly low. It's nothing. Like, I don't want to say that you can make it in a third world country on that, because you probably couldn't, but in most countries in the world, having that budget, you could make it like no problem. The country that I came from before, I would have been okay on that amount of money. The country that I'm in now, which is more expensive, I'm in the UK, it's so little, I don't pay taxes. I haven't paid taxes in a very long time. So that means just very little money. And I'm cool with that. I'm fine. I will take less money and more time any day. Because with more time, you can always earn more money later on. As long as you have skill and you have competence and quality that you can develop, if you have something valuable that other people need, you can always earn money later on. But if you spend all your time chasing a small amount of money, then you'll have neither. You'll have neither time nor money. Or at least that's the way that I think about it. And that's just my current strategy. I might be completely wrong. The exact opposite approach might be better. But this is just what I've chosen to do. So I'm just going to give that a try. So I have some money stored up, not a lot, but enough, approximately to last me for about a year. So when I went to quit my job, I actually figured out that I might be able to do some remote work for the company and just make it good for them, make it good for me. And that's actually, if it works out good, then that's pretty much going to cover my rent. So that's just my rent. And then from mentorship, students, and things like that, I'm going to cover my food, bills, expenses, all that stuff. So what I do, the money that I earn from art is going to get me my expenses covered. The money that I earn from working remotely for the company that I still work for, that's going to pay for my rent. And I'm basically on zero. I'm zeroed out. The only thing that I'm keeping my gym membership, because I actually like going there again now. So I'm keeping that. It's the one thing. And then the rest is just going to be getting to work. So if something goes wrong, I have just enough to hold me for several months with zero income while I then look for getting a new job. So I'm not just doing this with no preparation. I'm not doing it without having thought of it. I've hopefully come up with a good solution to the problem of getting more time and less money. Like the story of my career so far. Get more time, get less money. Get more time, get less money. So that's what I'm doing again. And I think that's about it. Like I said, the biggest pressure and the biggest thing about the whole entire decision was just, hey, you know what? If I remove this thing, if I take the job away, I have to face up to, if it doesn't happen, it's really because of me. It's not because of anything else. I can't point the finger at anything. And that was actually pretty tough, you know? That was probably the hardest thing to do. And it took me a couple of nights thinking about it. Just, you know, okay, are we going to do this? Are we not? Like, logistics are figured out. Just pull the trigger. So I think that's about it. I've recorded many videos for you guys that actually haven't posted. I've been recording studies and things I've been learning, and just some painting, some 3D, just all kinds of different things that I've been doing. Some of them new, some are things that I'm trying for the first time. Just a lot of different ways that you could see me be completely new at something. So you just get to see what the improvement process looks like. As I finish with my job and figure out what my new schedule is going to be, I'm not too sure where YouTube fits in right now. I know this is something I'm doing long term, which is why I'm taking so long sometimes with these, because if I just put in a ton of work right now and like really do a lot of YouTube, then I might just not be bringing you too much value. You know, I might just have to improve myself first before I share more. So I'm really okay with taking longer. I apologize to all you guys that I'm not really around much, but I am trying to just focus on my work and iron out a lot of the things that need to be worked on. So I'm just not trying to be everywhere. I'm not trying to do everything. I'm trying to focus on very few things. So I'm actually trying to do less and do more of those things. So sorry that I'm not around very often. And yeah, I'm just gonna basically see how this is gonna fold out and figure out just how often I'm gonna post and what I keep you updated with. I'm also gonna be taking a mentorship now starting March. with Darek Zabrodsky, right? One of the guys from Level Up. So as my first mentorship, I actually put in some of the money that I've put away for savings, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna invest this in there first. And yeah, like I said at the start, if you can throw money at the problem to diminish it. So I'm hoping to get some, apart from just learning a lot from him, I'm hoping to get some industry insights to just figure out more about how things work, the business side and the art side, but just get more of the business because that's something that I haven't been too much into. And I think we'll wrap with that. Thank you very much for sticking around. If you've been following along for quite a while, especially if you've seen the beginning, I hope it's like a little squished up review of kind of what's happened over the 4 years. Because if you're just starting out, you can just go first video and then last video and see how, okay, guy can do nothing. Okay, guy can do a little bit. Okay, guy's getting a little bit better. 4 years later, okay, guy's going for it. So I'm hoping that these videos, as I record them, as I talk you through what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, if I fail, I'm hoping that I show you what not to do. If I make it, I'm hoping that you just have more courage then to go for what you think you should do and just see how it plays out. Because if you fail, if you win, that's great, whatever. If you fail, then you know what, you just accumulated a whole bunch of skills and new tools and mental strength, because a lot of this stuff, a lot of art is just having to sit with discomfort. Same as yoga, same as weightlifting, same as almost anything. Almost anything that you pick up, you have to get good at sitting with discomfort. And this is one of those things. Hey, I'm not comfortable necessarily leaving my comfortable arrangement of job with just enough to keep me going and with just enough to be comfortable and to know that, hey, you know what, I've covered the expenses and everything else. Now I can do my few hours of work here because that's how much I can put in today. It's always, or when you're designing, when you have nothing on your page and you have to do something, you have to produce, there's no way around it. There's always pressure and discomfort. The more that you can sit in those, the more that you can fail, the easier it becomes to try something harder next time. And again, and again, and again, and just small wins your way into something bigger. And I think I will shut up now because this is going on for too long. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you very much if you've been following along. I'm hoping that these help you, and I'm hoping to help more as I get better. Let me know what you're struggling with. Let me know what I can help you with. And as we go along and we move forward, I'm hoping to be able to make your journey easier, better, and hopefully make you be able to surpass me much faster and to take less time to do all the things that I've had to just figure out stumbling around. Goodbye. Thank you very much.